We stand in the midst of the burning world, primed to burn with compassionate love and justice, to turn inward and find the holy fire at the core, to turn outward and see the world that is all one flesh with us. See under the trash, through the smog, the furry bee in the apple blossom, the trout leaping, the candles our ancestors lit for us. Fill us as the tide rustles into the reeds in the marsh. Fill us as the rushing water overflows the pitcher. Fill us as light fills a room with its dancing. Let the little quarrels of the bones and the snarling of the lesser appetites and the whining ego cease. Let silence still us, so you may show us your shining, and we can, out of that stillness, rise and praise.
Thanks for the beautiful way that you led us in joys and sorrows this morning. Friends, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Rob Hardies, and I have had the pleasure and honor of serving this congregation in different ways and at different times in the recent years. And I'm so grateful to be invited to be with you all this Sunday to lead us in prayer. There's no place I'd rather be this morning at this time, in this moment, than with all of you. And it's beautiful to see you all there online and in person. And my husband, Chris, and son, Nico, send their love. You know, these joys and sorrows that we share each week are a precious element of our time together. And they're kind of a ritual expression of a very real and tangible thing, which is our love and our care for one another. And just feel that so strongly this morning. And I just want to take this opportunity to bear witness, to reflect back to all of you at UUSMV, the remarkable love and care that this community has demonstrated over these last weeks and months. Jennifer expressed it so beautifully earlier. I've seen it sometimes up close and sometimes from afar, but this is a remarkable community, and your love for one another is powerful. It's a poignant and even bitter truth that sometimes love is not strong enough to save the people we love. But that doesn't mean that our love is any less beautiful or strong or true. Your love and care for one another, UUSMV, is strong and true and beautiful and powerful, and I feel fortunate to be a part of it. And I'm sending my love back to all of you today. In that spirit, then, I want to invite us into a responsive prayer, an affirmation that whatever circumstances life sends our way, whether joy or gladness or sadness, it's so much better to face life with the support of a community like this church. And so our responsive affirmation in this prayer are simply the words, "We need one another." Okay, and so whenever I say those words, I invite you to say them with me. And after a few lines, I think you'll get the rhythm of it. Again, we need one another. When we mourn and would be comforted, we need one another. When we are in trouble and afraid, we need one another. When we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves, we need one another. When in the hour of success we look for someone to share our triumphs, we need one another. And when in the hour of defeat we seek the encouragement to endure and to stand again, we need one another. When we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey, we need one another. All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us. So we need one another. Amen.
Portion of 1 Kings chapter 19, where the prophet Elijah is running for his life through muck and mud up to his knees, trying to escape the army of Jezebel that's breathing down his neck because he dared to preach truth to power. And then he hears a divine word. Quote, "And the Lord said, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great, powerful wind tore the mountains apart, shattered the rocks, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a sound of sheer silence." Our circumstances today, as we sit with grief and loss and anxiety about an uncertain future, beg the question, so where is the Divine One in the midst of crisis? The wisdom of the text suggests that what we call God is in the silent whispers of our hearts and in the love of our neighbor. Rejoice, beloved, you are not alone. The wrestling question of where do we find comfort has been a topic of conversation between Armin and me across the week, and I asked him point blank, I said, where is comfort found? And he thought for a long moment, as you will probably have noticed is his habit to do. And he answered, in living authentically. And I thought, well, I can work with that. Earlier in the week, this appeared in my mailbox from the Center for Action and Contemplation. Quote, "From Jesus, Muhammad, and the Buddha, to Martin Luther King Jr., and Alexei Navalny and others, their stories of resistance, survival, and faith inspire us. We have to know we're not alone. Despite a concerted social effort to convince us that we are radical individuals, that our motto should be, I'll get mine, you get yours, a deeply communal spirit arises when we least expect it and when we need it the most. A communal spirit arises when we least expect it and when we need it the most." The external power that the psalmist and the ancient storytellers understood as holy is a power and a wisdom that resides in each one of us. Collectively and individually, we have already internalized much of the wisdom that we need for living authentically. In many ways, we already have within us what we might think of as holy. Sometimes we need an external reminder. The words of the prophet provide that, to remind us of the strength that we already embody. But in reality, the strength and the possibility of comfort in the prophetic reminder is already here. When we come together in community, as a communal spirit, if you will, we tap into the holy wholeness of that strength and the comfort that it brings. When we're able to truly live out of our most authentic selves, doing justice, loving mercy, and kindness, and walking humbly, honoring the whole holiness that we each embody, we may find that we can live in a degree of comfort. We can be thrown about, we can lose our balance, we can feel profound loss, but we're not alone. The rushing waters of fear and anxiety and uncertainty and grief will not drown us. The burning heat of the unknown will not consume us. The earthquakes of profound loss and political turmoil will not bury us. A transcendent power binds us together, and together we have so much of what we need to make it through. For now, we have the experience of the pain of exile, of feeling separated from home, living with discomfort in a strange and unpredictable land. And we will have our work cut out for us in the weeks and the months to come. But walking together, we will walk each other home. I want to close with a few words from Greek author Nikos Kazantzakis. He was the author of Zorba the Greek and The Last Temptation of Christ. I return to his words for strength over and over again. He wrote this, quote, "And I strive to discover how to signal my companions, to say in time a simple word, a password, like conspirators. Let us unite. Let us hold each other tightly. Let us merge our hearts. Let us create for earth a brain and a heart. Let us give human meaning to the superhuman struggle." Close quote. We are not alone. The strength and the power of an unseen one resides in us and binds us closely together, and together we will walk each other home. May it be so.